Enthusiastic about his water technology. He spent 40 years in physics, math, and researching the properties of water and its effects on life. He's one of our generous and really essential and very deeply appreciated sponsors. Let's welcome Clayton Nolte.
Thank you, sir. Have at it. All right, thank you. Oh, here I am. Okay. My name is Clayton Nolte, and I've probably spoken already to most of you. I just wanted you guys to know that my crew put together this PowerPoint presentation to try to keep me on track. So I said try to keep me on track. Okay? So anyway, I will, that's me. And I'm going to sit down. I spent a good deal of my life working in some very interesting, with some very interesting technologies. And water just happened to be something that came into play probably in the mid-60s, late 60s. And structured water, nature's structured water is a very unique commodity that everybody needs. It is essentially the same as the bodily fluids within you. And as we get into this, you'll see more. Okay. I'm going to go through this because otherwise I'll get way off deep into the world of who knows what. Anyway, natural action structured water is coherent, balanced, and beneficial to health. Using natural action water devices is a simple way to always know you are drinking healthy water. Traditional water treatment methods deplete water, leaving it unhealthy, in turn diminishing your health. Basically, all I've done is create a balanced field so water can remember its dynamic harmonized state. And in that dynamic harmonized state, a little tidbit of information. This dynamically harmonized water is multidimensional. Again, it is very similar to the water within you. I'm going to move the mic up just a little bit here. And we're going to make it perfect. Hey, there's nobody that's perfect. But we'll try, right? Okay. Okay, try that. Thank you, sir. Anyway. Am I on? Am I on? Okay. Again, dynamically harmonized water is multidimensional. You are dynamically harmonized. And the only thing that keeps you from that potential is what you think. So, as we move through this, you will realize, or hopefully realize, that everything that structured water in nature can do, so can you. And I'm sure that you already are very well on that path. So let me go on through this. This basically is a
a few quotes, and if you can read this, biology forgot about water or never thought of it, and basically it is 70% of the human body mass is water. So a lot of science around the world will say various percentages. The next one says 99%. This one is pretty close. The brain 74.5%, bone mass 22%, blood 90%, kidney 82.7% blood. That's pretty okay. Anyway, muscle 75.5%. Dr. Konstantin Kurokov from Russia, he says that from the chemical point of view, water constitutes 99% of living matter. 99% of all molecules in any living body are water molecules. So we want the water within us to be dynamically harmonized or empowered to be the best it can possibly be. This next picture is a picture of an ideal water molecule, H2O. The chemical formula of water was discovered by London scientist Henry Cavendish in about 1781, I'm sorry. And this is a projection. A water molecule is so small, we currently in science don't have any way of really seeing a water molecule. So it's kind of interesting that we know that as much as we do about it. And even back to the water molecule, water is moving at such a fast rate. There are 13 different water molecules, and this is just water that is pure water. Pure water in its purest form has 13 molecules and 18 different ions, and depending upon the energies that it has to endure, it can be any one of them at any one time. So where are we? What is dynamically harmonized water? It's coherent. Coherent means that everything in water's environment is working together. Coherent is fish swimming together. When you have a million fish, and every fish knows the movement of all the fish. They swim very fast, very quickly, in harmony, in coherence. We see coherence with structured water, dynamically harmonized water, in strawberry plants and fields. When these fields are given this kind of water, when one strawberry plant blooms, they all bloom simultaneously. When they put on fruit, they all put on fruit simultaneously. That's coherence. So, also it's balanced water. And in my devices, natural action water devices, when water comes into it, it is vortexing simultaneously in both left and right vortexes. And this is representative of Victor Schaberger's work. He designed very elaborate devices to make water healthy. And that's what he did, was vortex water in both directions. But that device is quite expensive and quite elaborate. These devices are simple. They create an atmosphere for water to be the machine. Basically, when you look inside of a water structuring device on the table out here, what you'll see is you'll see two spheres, and as the water, as you would go deeper, you would see them in a DNA configuration. That's the way they're stacked, just like a DNA, just like the structure that we are. As water starts to turn, and we'll get into this more, but it's perfectly balanced. It's perfectly balanced in right spin and left spin. Left spin is feminine and creation energy, creative. Right spin is destructive energy, but it's absolutely essential for the balance of life. So, anyway, moving on. It's also hydrating. Dynamically harmonized water is hydrating. It's easily absorbed into the cells without effort. As water is in those turns initially, the water has the innate, or let's say the special ability to erase or neutralize all the toxins, all the memory of all the toxins that it's holding on to. And as it does that, it creates a dynamically harmonized space, creating a very energetically charged signature. And that energetically charged signature is what raises your potential. It gives your immune system a massive dose of energy. As we move on, dynamically harmonized water is also health in liquid form. Again, going back to hydrating and health, the majority of the population of the world are dehydrated, even though they consume massive amounts of water. That dehydration comes from, again, back to the water molecules are clustered in huge clusters. And it used to be a person at the age of 50 that the amount of energy that their body would have to produce in order to make bottled water or any water that you drink, to hydrate your cells, was enormous. Today that age is around 30. And it means that what we're facing is a great deal more toxins in the air we breathe, toxins in virtually everything, probably in the food we eat, water we drink, everywhere we go. So what this water has the potential of is increasing your immune system, increasing your ability to ward off disease. Anyway, dynamically harmonized water also is a moving process. Just as you are a process in discovery and change, constantly evolving. So when you talk about dynamic is movement. And as long as we have movement in our life, we are enlivened, we are very energetic. It's the same way with water. It's very enlivened, very energetic. I used to sing a song, alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. This is how I choose to start my day. That's the way water is, and especially coming out of nature, coming through dynamically harmonizing through a structuring unit. It's dancing, and it's very energizing, very enlivening, very awakening, and it's, from our perspective, the way to go, the way to be. So this water is primarily, and as all water, to be used at the point of contact. We have shower units that bring that to you directly. We have all kinds of ways of shower units, portable units, etc. So, did that work? Okay. Natural action structured water. Is that where we are? Yep. It is. It forms when it is moving through the device. As it moves through the device, it creates a form of 5 to 20 molecules per cluster. It's organized in flowing geometric shapes rather than a more random number of molecules moving in a disordered fashion. So when you have a bag of marbles, for instance, and they're all the same size, you get more marbles in the bag. If they're all different sizes, you have gaps, you have spaces. You don't get as much in there. So depending upon the pressure that the water is moving through a structuring unit, if you pour it through, the water clusters are about 20 molecules per cluster. And yet, at that rate, it's very significant, the energy that it provides for you as you consume the water or virtually any liquid that you consume. We can get into geometric shapes, and I'll get to that later. It's coming up here shortly. Okay. Natural action structured water creates a lower surface tension, so it can easily be absorbed by the cells of your body. As again, this water moves into the first turn, it creates a harmonization that brings about decreasing the surface tension of the water. Surface tension is measured in dynes, D-Y-N-E-S. And if this surface tension is high, again, your body has to bring that level down to 46 dynes or lower to make the water usable or hydration to the cells. So again, depending upon the surface tension, the amount of energy that your body has to expend in order to make the water usable can be extreme. And so, as we want to be more energetic and more healthy, the lower the surface tension. One of the things we do to lower surface tension is we heat the water. It lowers the water, by heating it, it lowers the water to about 54 dynes, somewhere in that area. And if you consider our body temperature being 98.6, that's where it takes it. What actually, it's a combination of energies that create a lower surface tension. One of the biggest ones being your heart. Your heart is a vortex, a dual vortex system. It spins the water to the left and to the right, exactly the way natural action structured water spins the water. So the liquid within you is dynamically harmonized. However, it's stressed by the tension that you accumulate through stress, through your normal daily routines, and it tends to make us unhealthy in some ways or another. So, oops, I went the wrong way, sorry. Okay, the other thing, natural action structured water energetically erases the toxins, the memory, the vibrational imprint. And considering surface water, virtually all water assimilates or into itself the memory of everything that it passes by and everything that it passes through since it came out of the natural hydrational cycle of nature. Most communities have a policy of reusing gray water. They recycle it up to 20 times before it goes back into, eventually evaporates. So if you consider just the statement that the water is holding on to the memory of everything that it has passed through and everything that it has passed by, there's no way that you can chemically erase that memory. It has to be erased through action. So ergo, natural action. It is a way of erasing the toxic memories. It also enhances the nutrients and makes them available at the cellular level. Water is the most studied, oh, here we go. Let me give you this part. Water is the most studied material on the earth, but it is remarkable to find that the science behind the behavior and function are poorly understood or even ignored, not only by people in general, but also by scientists working with it every day. The small size of its water molecule lies in the complexity of the actions and its singular capabilities. Liquid water's unique properties and chameleon-like nature seems to fit ideally into the requirements for life as can no other a molecule. This is by Martin Chaplin, London South Bank University. Okay. I don't really have a whole lot of comments. It's pretty clear. This is nature's hydrological cycle. It just depicts a picture of how water moves from the earth up into the atmosphere and back, and all the tributaries of that movement. So we have a lot of groundwater storage, we have ocean storage, we have many, many places where water is stored, and in varying whether it's snow or running water or salt water, etc. There are times that we are running out of water, and I won't get into the percentages. It's kind of scary when you look at those numbers. But the reality is there's the same amount of water exists on this planet today as did in the beginning. It's just the form that it's in. And we at Natural Action Water, we know that we can make all water usable, all water healthy. It's an absolute knowing. And our philosophy and our vision is to provide this technology for every man, woman, and child on the planet, which is a big, lofty projection, but I believe that we will get there. So, we're on the road, we're on the path. It's a happening thing, believe me. Anyway, water at its fullest potential. Its purpose is to support life, as when you are at your best, you support yourself. And if you looked at the write-up, I'm supposed to be teaching you how to structure water. In a sense, everything that these devices do, you also can do. You have the power. And I'm going to beat you up over that if you're not listening. You have the power. Use it. So, water at its fullest potential delivers a healthy balance of elements. It's nature's way to provide you with your full measure. As water, again, is harmonized and dynamically harmonized, it allows for everything that is beneficial to you to be made readily available at the cellular level, whether that be the food you eat, whether it be the medications you take, whether it be the beer you drink. I mean, this process can make virtually everything healthy. So, water at its fullest potential delivers a healthy balance of, we got elements. Energetically withholds in itself all harmful elements, protecting you from their effects. This is true when water is standing still or it's entering into your body at the cellular level. When water is standing still, it's no longer moving, so it starts pulling into itself all the disharmony in the room. If there's stress in the room, if there's disharmony, anger, from this, you must know that everything man-made is detrimental to your health. So water will try to correct all these things. An example of that is we have a shower unit out there that has a brass connector on the end of it. When the water is structured and coming through there, it patinas that brass because brass is carcinogenic, and water knows this. So it makes it black. It shields future water from coming through and being caught up in that carcinogenic property of the brass. And there are many more examples of this, but I won't try to go into them all at this time unless you ask me specifically. And I want you to know from asking specifically, most of my talks are question and answer. I do much better at somebody asking me a question, and then I let those guys up there answer it. So anyway, right now, most of this is coming out of my head, so I might get lost once in a while. Anyway, okay. Okay. Water at its fullest potential can be programmed and to specific intentions. Whether your desire is to heal from serious illness or simply be more organized in your daily life. When we talk about structuring again, you can do the same thing by simply holding your hands on both sides of a glass of water, and you will increase the energy of that water, the pH of that water, exactly to the same levels as structuring it through a device. The unique thing about having a device that does it for you is you don't have to be right on every moment of the day. And in time, what this will do is it will bring you to that place where you are right on every moment of every day. I receive hundreds of calls pretty much every day. My whole day is taken up with answering and listening to testimonials from people all over the world. The realization that they can see more and they can feel more than they ever could before. It's a beautiful thing, and I truly do enjoy it. So, anyway, moving on. The opportunity is anything water can do, so can you. You can raise it to your highest potential, learning from the example of natural action structural water. Naturally, it shows you the way. So again, as you consume water, I say this, and this is very, very essential, that if you're pouring water through one of the portable devices, and you can bring yourself to a place of blessing the water, you will raise it to its optimum potential instantaneously. So as you pour this water into a glass, you can take that glass or bottle of water and set it next to any water, any volume of water, and through a process called entrainment, the water will change everything in the vessel next to it. You also have this power. When you are dynamically harmonized, or let's say coherent, and being a positive, generous, loving person, you can change everything in your path. All the water, and the person sitting next to you is, again, what, 70, 90% water? It's simple. All you have to do is be real, be in your truth, as water is when it's harmonized. This one will kind of be an interesting journey for most. Isohedral structures. Basically, water, when it is structured, it's layers, it's in layers. And the layers are, there's no gaps between the structures. So regardless of what the hydrogen bonding angle is, every hydrogen bonding angle creates a different dynamic of structure. But as it's moving through and as it's moving through life, there are no gaps. Everything fits perfectly together. Everything is coherent, and it's an endless stream of coherence. I talk about, and I've talked to many of you about this, but one thing that really comes up is how long does it last? Basically, it can last forever. When water is standing still in a pipe, or all water that is connected through entrainment, it goes on and on and on. It doesn't matter how long the pipe is or how big society is. It just goes on and on and on. So, isohedral means all geometric structure faces are the same. Okay. Isohedral structures. The first one, in geometry, isohedral means a structure has only one face and is flat. 15 minutes? Well, I gotta rush.
Yeah, the fine print says 15 minutes, but you know, if you want to, there's a couple minutes for Q&A afterward.
Oh, well, we can go to Q&A right now. It's easier for me. I don't have to answer the question. Anyway, again, isohedral means, let me go through all these. And this will probably be on your, if you want to know more. Why don't we say that? If you want to know more, buy the CD. It'll all be available to you. There is several more pages. Anyway, so do you want to do question and answers? It works for me. So, no question? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, if you'd like to do question and answer, Mitch is our Q&A moderator. He's going to be standing right here. And